Oh my gosh. Spirits to be nice, Mark.
Oh, they're being nice. They're not used to me being able to tell the secrets, the
So
dark
Mark
and
did warn
mysterious.
me that once he starts talking about this, things could go a little catawampus, and he wasn't
Wonky,
lying. It went
cattywampus.
wonky, as crazy as it sounds, but it did. All right. So continue on. Do you remember where you were at?
Yes, we were at a Valentine's table tipping psychic extravaganza, and
Extravaganza.
I was in my car, and I went. It took me 10 hours to get there, and I was there 30 minutes before it began. Before I was supposed to be there, and so I rolled out of that thing. I'd been channeling for a month, and went right into it, and it took a minute, and then everybody was a little surprised. I read everybody in the room, that I if I remember correctly, and it went really well. And then the next night I was going to do spirit boards and do the table tipping. And table tipping, I see groups doing it now with card tables, and they'll do it, and sometimes you have to chase the card table across the room. It'll run across the room with you.
What?
But
No way.
sometimes with Oh yeah. But with me, what happens, the way I do it, it wants to levitate. So when I was doing the spirit boards, people were talking, were scared of it, but then I talked to them and explained it, and then they wanted to touch them. Then when it was time to do the boards, I was a little surprised because I had them set out. Now I bent down to get something, came back up, and there was all these people. They ran up, wanted to be on the
No.
boards. And those people were just open and not afraid and all that. And made everybody do a protection meditation before they touched anything. I always do that. I make everybody, if you're going to touch my tools, you're going to be doing a protection thing, because you
Mm.
need to do that. And it's a protection tool that people can use later. It teaches you how to control your aura. Very simply, but it works. So we did that. They were shocked by the boards. And like I said, the boards were going so fast, it was throwing people off because we were going very fast. And you can see the videos where it just is like lightning.
Yeah.
And the crystal is spinning under our fingers, and it's going, and it's nailing stuff. I mean, we're nailing the information, but it's because everything is a tool. If you do it correctly, you can do it safely, and you can get good information. So then when it came time for the table tipping, I had not done it the way that I do it now, in a public setting. And I had gotten a 30s or 40s cherry card table, which was just beautiful. And it had this
Mm.
center board that was covered in fabric. So I took the fabric off, painted the board, did a circle of like 18th century gravestone art, but did it in a circle, and then
Oh.
charged it up, painted it. It's great. So I charged it up, worked with it, had it all ready. So one way we're ready to do that, and I said, "Well, is there anyone?" Because men are usually very scared of anything I do. Women, because of the spiritualist DNA,
Mm.
women will be the ones who run to it. Men are scared of it.
Mm.
So usually, but there were two men who one of them very shy, very quiet. And the women and everyone surprised me because they were so in it and on it and ready to do it. So when I said, well, we're going to do it, we can do it in groups or whatever, but there was like
Mm.
7 people who wanted to do the table tipping. Boom. I mean, they were on that table, had their fingers on there. They weren't scared one bit, not
Oh
one
my
bit, which
gosh.
I went, this is great. And so I started to chant. But before I started the chant, I have to remember, I gave you a picture, but we'll put it, if we can in a little bit, we'll put it up. We'll see if it's not a problem.
Okay.
But what I did is I did a sphere of light around us to protect us.
Mm.
Because I have a very open third eye because I've been hit in the head so many times. It's opened up my third eye so hard that Roger, Eric's partner, they were looking through me and the table. They filmed some of it in thermal and they weren't recording it, but they were looking at the time when they were doing it. But they looked at me with the thermal and he said, my eyes were white, my head was white because my third eye is so open anyway
Oh.
that because I've been hitting, I mean, from childhood, from family abuse, other
Mm-hmm.
abuse, just, because, I've just been hitting the head so many times. And then when I was murdered, I was kicked in the head so many times,
Mm.
they were trying to shove my nose up my nose bone up into my brain. And I was able to keep them from doing that. But I got kicked so many times in the head, it altered the third eye, which is, it wouldn't be like it is if it didn't happen. So I mean, I know it
Right.
sounds horrible, but it's
It
okay.
does. It sounds
Something great came out of it.
absolutely horrible. Oh, I'm
Horrible,
glad you're
but my life
here.
has had a lot of horror. I mean, I'm a shock, anyway. And anytime anything major happens to me, then I go, something good will come out of it. Something big will come
Mm.
out of it. So, because anytime it alters my third eye, it gets bigger. It
Mm.
opens up for me. So they were able to see through the thermal that my eyes were white, my head was just white. But I did the sphere around us. I made everyone think of their light, take their light. Now, people think when you do a table tipping and when I was doing the channeling, they think the spirits are doing it. The spirits, I put the spirits talking to me behind me. The table tipping itself is not spirit driven. I can do the table tipping because it's a physics experiment,
Okay.
experience. It's energy.
Okay.
And the spirits, it's too intense for the spirits. So I put these spirits and they talk to me from behind, which they do that anyway,
Mm.
because they're talking to your axon terminal. Your third eye is hooked in through your spine. So they talk to you where it's connected to the pineal gland and the pineal stalk in the cerebellum. So it's all back there. So I had them open up their third eye. And if you watch the video, you'll see it. I made them take the light down their back, underneath their feet, under the table. So they had basically made a sphere of energy around the table using their energy. And it's like
Oh.
air hockey. If you've ever played air hockey, you
Mm-hmm.
know how the little tool floats?
Yeah.
Then you're making the table float. This is why table tips. So I had them
Oh.
create that. Now I have a sphere around them that is containing all of it. It
Okay.
has nothing to do with the spirits. I'm talking to the spirits, but the spirits are not controlling the energy. Then what I do is I had them in a clockwise manner begin chanting table up. And as they did it, we started doing it in a rotating manner. And the table was flexible, which I wasn't expecting because it was first time using it. And it was moving with them in a circle. And it sounded like being on a boat. You could hear the creaking and
Rocking.
it, and,
Yeah.
you, and they were chanting and they all got into it and they were trancing and they got into it and they raised. I mean, I felt like I was in a spiritualist group in 1890 and we were going to tip this table. We were going to levitate this table. And they started the table going in that way. Then because on the boards, if you watch the thing, I directed my energy, even when I would take my hands off of the planchette because I could direct the energy without touching the thing, and I was directing the energy. That comes from my metaphysical training. And what I started to do on top of what they were doing, and they were raising energy, and the energy raises up to like a cone above the table. So I directed the cone of energy and increased it. And the more that we did, because it was in a sphere of energy, it could only go as far as the sphere was allowing, which was like 5, 6 feet
Oh.
above our heads. So
Okay.
we built the energy, built it up, built it up, built it up, and I was directing it. And then during this, I separately was talking to the spirits because in the house there are spirits, and one of them that I contacted before, which they didn't know. I said, "There's a spirit named Jack who likes their plays with marbles," and they went, "Oh, well, there's marbles everywhere." This is something a few weeks, like a month or two before. And I said, "Well, he likes his shooters and stuff." And they said, "Well, we have one, but these," and I explained the shooter, and they have it, and they have marbles, and he likes playing with marbles. And I went to a thrift store down here. This is how spirits work with me. Now that's in Kentucky. I'm here in Florida. I go to a
Mm.
thrift store. I felt drawn to it.
Mm.
I go in there. I'm looking around, and I go in a section I don't normally go in, which is the children's department. And this woman behind me goes, "Do you like marbles?" And I thought, "Oh, I'm not wearing a diaper." And I went, "Yes. As a matter of fact, I do like marbles." And she said, and I turned around, and she sounded like Tangia from Poltergeist. And
Oh.
I had done a reading for this woman. She didn't remember it, I'm sure. But she was a little person, little
Uh-huh.
person. And she had a beehive and a long hair. She looked like a Ronette. But she goes, "I like marbles. I don't, they say they're expensive, but I don't know. Do you like marbles?" And I said, "Why, yes, I do." And she sent me over to them, and they were $5. And it would have three shooters in them that probably were worth $30, $40 a piece, and
What?
these antique
Really?
type marbles. And I took them and
Oh.
I sent them with a portrait I'd done to Eric at uh at the house there,
Right.
the
The night house.
to the night house. And I thought it was hysterical. So I have a connection with Jack, and that let me know he's the spokesperson. And he lives in the basement. So when we're doing the table tipping and I'm talking to the spirits, you know, um the Eric and Roger and Buffy from the different people from different
I thought
groups
you were
are
about to say
family.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I was like, what?
No, no, no. She's from I'm old. But she and Barbie, they're in a ghost group. They have a
Oh,
ghost group,
okay.
Night Song. But she was from Night Song, and I brought her a haunted doll, which you know it's pretty funny. But anyway, um, we are doing it, raising the energy. I'm telling, and there I picked him as the questioner, and he's
Mhm.
asking questions, and there's a name of a Nancy comes up, and that turns out to be one of the Sisters of the Night people. But he had to run down and look it up and come back and say, "Yes, that's right." And because
Yep.
I've nailed quite a few people at the thing, that's
Mm.
what I do. I have to. If you're going to do it, do it right. I've identified a lot of people there because I go in without knowing anything, and I tell them what I hear, and boom. So we're raising the energy. And what happens is when the energy gets to a pitch, it can't go any further because it's in a bubble, in a sphere. So what makes the table move or do is that cone of power, when it's building up, building up, building up, then it will be like if you take a pair of socks, when to put a pair of socks together, you invert it and you roll
Mm.
them together to hold them together. The tip of it will do that. It will just start to roll back on itself. When it does, see the bottom of the cone of power is sitting on the table. And when it's that begins to invert, the energy lifts the table up. The table was starting to lift up. But what happened is they had these tall battery operated candles, and each one was separately individually. had batteries. They weren't connected to each other, and they were all on this table. There was a whole string of them. I mean, just
Mm.
lined up. And when it was getting ready to lift, because energy, the way it is, it gets stronger by absorbing more energy. That's why the cameras will go off, the batteries will go out, all that kind of thing. Well, when it got to a certain pitch of energy, of us chanting, of us raising energy, then the candles, all of them, it looked like you blew them out with the wind. It's like if they were real candles, they all went out.
Yeah.
So they started running to those, looking to see what that was, because that was happening. Well, when he was getting ready to, they were trying to figure that out. They were filming that. And he was talking to Jack, who is the marble guy, who is very funny, very, very interesting spirit. But he asked Jack his last name, which was Jack had a very fancy French name, like a Creole name. And he used to get picked on because here he is, this really cute little guy, kind of little redneck guy who hops on a train, goes work and picks, goes to Florida, picks fruit, goes to Kentucky and does whatever, and here he is, he's got this ooh la la name. And so he didn't want to say his last name. So on the video, you can hear me. He asked Jack and his last name, and you can see I kind of stopped. What happens is Jack, thinking that Eric can hear him like I can, walks over because he's a petite little thing, and Eric's very tall, and I see Eric's collar go out like this because he was pulling on Eric's collar to whisper to him, and on the film you can hear him whispering his last name. Well,
Oh.
it had to stop right there because it scared everybody to death. They won't admit they were scared, but they were scared. And, because they weren't used to it.
Right.
And it's one thing to talk to a spirit through a squawk box but when one is coming up and, and I had to stop it and turn it. But if you watch the thing, I turned the energy down and stopped it. I was in control of the energy. It wasn't an out of control thing. And it wasn't spirit
It was just
intensity, it was the
energy.
energy intensity. The spirits were able to communicate. They were having a party. I mean, actually, the next weekend, they were still so high, they were ripping it up there. They had all sorts of things happening. People were hearing it sounded like people dragging furniture across the floor because they were still,
Right.
so excited because the spirits were excited. They were getting to be talked to, they were getting to express emotion, they were getting to be listened to. They were having a great time. But he thought that Eric could hear him like I do and wouldn't mind, and it scared. I think it shocked people. Maybe I shouldn't say scared,
Yeah.
but it shocked people.
I don't know.
So
I
I
think
turned
some
it
people
down.
could have been pretty scared, especially if they never
They were pretty.
experienced it.
They were pretty shook up, and so I turned it down, and I turned it down, turned it off, and all the people had a great time. The people there, except for Roger, doesn't seem scared of me, but everybody else, I think, is kind of scared of me. But which is okay because they felt that intensity and that energy. Because I think when he was on your show, he said, that energy that we felt that energy. I think they thought it was something bad or something, and that the spirits were trying to pull them out.
To
It's like
pull them away,
no,
yeah.
the spirits weren't trying to pull you away. Jack was trying to tell you his name. The what they felt was because I can contact I have direct third eye connection. The energy when I raise it, baby, it's raised. And they had experienced that intensity, and it's not something anybody's gonna see very often.
Mm.
Um because there aren't very many people who've been hit in the head as many times or killed or come back,
Oh gosh.
so it was very interesting, but it was a great experience for me.
I
And
bet.
I gave you pictures. I don't know if we can pull any of them out.
Let me see
Do
if
you
I
think
can get them pulled up.
you can?
Let
If
me
you
see.
can, if it'll mess things up, don't worry about it. But I did a kind of like a simulation thing of the table tipping, where if you'll see, if there's a circle around the people, there's a table, the people are at the table, and there's a triangle over it, which represents the cone of power.
Okay.
And there you are. And it's um if you see it, the triangle represents the kind of power I was raising.
Mm-hmm.
And but the sphere around them is what encompasses the energy. The energy isn't going to escape. What
Right.
happened was, when the energy got so intense and the table was going to lift up, because it was levitating, it was getting ready to levitate.
Oh, hang on just a second.
And
It's
yeah,
not showing it on here. Hang on.
okay. And if
Ah.
there's a problem, don't worry with it,
uh,
because I can see it. I can see it on mine.
yeah, they're not seeing it on their side. So I want them to see it. I want them to see what you're talking about. And I can do it.
Because it
I just gotta
Okay,
do the
take a
display.
moment,
There we
whatever it
go. Got
takes.
it. Got it.
Okay. And the black smoke coming out is not what I was running at, but that's energy coming out of the table, because we're using the table. The energy, what I couldn't put in there, was that the table itself is in a sphere of energy of its own.
Mm-hmm.
The cone over it is the energy that's building up to a point, and then it's like a cell tower at the very
Mm-hmm.
tip, and then you can send out energy or signals or pick up information. But then the circle around them is what contains the energy. And after it's over, I shut it down. I made everyone um, help turn off, to close the circle,
Mm-hmm.
and to close their circles, and all of that. So we did that. Now, I think if we can, I have a picture of Jack I did.
Oh,
Um, the little guy in in the blue overalls.
yes.
I don't know if you can pull that up. That's what Jack will look like if you can show it. I don't know. There he is. I can see him.
Oh, wow.
And that's what he looks like. He's very petite. He's a little, I'm six. Well, I was 6'2". I'm six now. But he would be probably about 5'6", 5'7".
Oh, he's
And
tinier.
he's little, but he's very interesting spirit. Loves to talk, loves to play marbles, loves to play games. And they have a story, which I will let Eric ever, if he will let that information out. I know that
Mm-hmm.
they
Ads be
have
sailing
found
in
up
for 90
backup
seconds,
information
mateys. If you can
since,
sub to keep
of
the
the
ship
family
afloat, it
knowing
helps a
about
ton.
Jack in the basement, because he's just been there for ages. The other one that was that I talked about in the table tipping was Daniel, which he's yes. And I did another portrait of him, and he said, what I do is I draw the pictures myself.
Mm-hmm.
I do the portraits myself. And then I flesh them out so they look more like what people can recognize, and using all the stuff that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
But Daniel I want people to see me writing, because I was able to read and write, and was a businessman. So it was very important. But the Daniel was there, but they didn't know who Daniel was. So I think they would have to search and find out. But that's what Daniel
Right.
looked like. And then the other one, there was a very sweet little, yeah. And
Oh.
when I first was doing the readings, I said, I see this little African American boy, and they go, we've been seeing him.
Oh.
But he was there. He was looking for somebody named Jeremiah. I don't know. He was looking for somebody, but very sweet. But he had blonde hair, and the very sweet little energy. But he was very curious and was around. And I did the portrait of him so they could see what he looked like, because I was talking about him. And then the other one that I'd seen, months before, Gregory, which everyone who had lived on that property apparently had been seeing Gregory. And he
Oh
runs across
wow.
the property, and there's a shed there. Before I had seen the place, knew what any of it was, I said, there's a shed there. He sleeps. He basically curls up and stays in there. And when he wakes up, he runs, and they always see him running. And I think he's buried on the property. And they have found out that there are graves on the property.
Oh.
And I think he was from the older part of the history. I think he got killed in the Revolutionary War. Very young, very good looking
Yeah.
young man. And I think when he died, he just ran home, and he didn't accept whatever, he just didn't know how to accept whatever. So when you see
Yeah.
him running across the property, but he's very,
Mm.
very, uh, very good energy. It's like, but when he died, he just died so young, and he just, but he'll get up and
Yeah.
he'll run. And I think he runs to where he's buried. And
Oh.
the property is very confusing because it's been so configured all through the centuries, because it's a couple of centuries old.
Yeah.
Um, that it's real hard for me to tell where he'd be buried, but I saw where I was able to point to them which direction he was running.
Mm.
But so that kind of thing. So I mean, it was very interesting. I loved doing it, and the people enjoyed it. Um, and I thought it was it was a modern table tipping. But if we could have gone a few more minutes, that table would have been about a foot off the ground,
Oh my
because it felt
gosh.
like what it felt like it was on water, and it was getting
Mm.
ready. And when those candles went out, it's just because the energy was pulling in, the electromagnetic field was picking up more energy, and that table would have just gone, woo, it wouldn't have slid across the floor, it would have come up.
Mm.
So, and that it also was a perfect storm. Buffy had said that the people there, their energy was so untapped, and they were so into it. I mean, I was like, oh, if I had these people, and once a year we got together and did something, we would shock the hell out of people, because but it's metaphysics. The physics, the table tipping was physics. I can do it with the spirits, or I can do it with the spirits aside, but I like to talk to the spirits. So, and it was a safe environment. Everybody had done their thing. There wasn't something bad going on. I know they felt like, it was weird to them, but, people clutch their pearls a lot in my business, because when they see me coming, because they don't know what to think about what I do.
Right.
So, but I'm like, but if don't ask me to come to something if you're not ready to see something happen, or it's real, you
Right.
know, because I'm a 100% believer. And, but like I said, anytime anything happens to me, then it opens up a new level of experiment. And last time, uh, when Sin and I went to the Thomas house, and I was coming back, and I had a person run me off the road, and my car
Yes.
flipped. And when I climbed out of that
Y'all
car, I
keep
told my
in mind I
cousin, I
told
said,
him not to go home.
she told me that, but it's okay, because it was destiny. Because
Mm.
it was whatever was supposed to happen was supposed to happen. And I was wide awake. I have insomnia, so unless I take my medicines, I'm awake. And I had just stopped, got me a drink. I was happy. I love driving at night. I don't know what I love driving in rain. I love driving at
Mm.
night. I love driving in snow. Don't ask. I don't know why.
All the dangerous stuff.
But all of it. But to me, when you're going through snow and it's blowing, it's like Star Wars. It's like seeing the
Yep.
stars. Going in your headlights.
In warp speed.
Um, but when I got out of that wreck, I told my cousin when she came to pick me up, because she was really terrified that I would just be, I was gonna have to go to the hospital. Uh, the ambulance came, parked on the side. There's a cable thing on one side that keeps you from rolling into the other lane.
Mm.
and it stopped my car. Well, the ambulance, when it came, then we're in a very rural area where it happened, an hour away from where I live, is in Alabama. And they pulled up, they came over, and I got out of the car. Of course, when I couldn't get out of the car, it started smoking real. I told this, I out loud went, I don't know how I'm going to get someone to see me because it was very dark. And all of a sudden it started smoking so hard in the front. And this person, I thought it was going to burst into flames. So I thought I'm going to be like popcorn in about 10 minutes. And,
Oh God.
and I couldn't get out. But this person who was going by saw it and said, I saw the smoke and I came to help you. And when he pulled over, there was no smoke when I got out. But I was on the phone with my cousin thinking the smoke was, I was going to burst into flames. I was about to crap my pants. I was going, I can't get out of this car. And then all of a sudden I was able to get out and it was okay. But he found me because he saw the smoke and there was no smoke.
But there was no smoke. How did he see it? Ah, your
And it was
spirit.
on the anniversary. The wreck happened right on the anniversary of my mother's death. And Sin's mother died that morning as well. And I went, well, maybe that was my mother helping me.
What?
But
No.
I mean, at the time, the exact time that she died, I had my wreck. The person ran me off the road. But I got out of the car when my cousin came and picked me up. I said, something big will happen out of this. I feel it. I feel it. Because it was really near death. I thought pretty much, I kept waiting for the big bang.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 weeks ago, I was on a program and Carl on Ted Hobson's show, and Carl, who helps her co-host or takes care of all the what you're doing, all
Mm-hmm.
the the equipment. He told me he was playing music, and I said, "Where'd you get that?" And he said, "I made it." And he told me, and so I went to this program, and my psychic ability, my channeling is like physical AI, and so and I've been writing songs for 40 years. And I have taken my lyrics to people. I have someone who's helped me put stuff to music, but everybody kind of sniffs like they're smelling a hot dropping or something. And they don't understand it. So I started putting music to the lyrics. And it's been phenomenal. And in 2 weeks, I've done 70 songs, that some of them from the past, a lot of new ones. And there was a friend of mine, Jamie's, who her great grandniece was dying of cancer, and her name is Rylan. And the spirits told me write a little song for Rylan, so I wrote a little song for Rylan because they were going to have her make a wish
Oh.
Disney party, and they did that last Wednesday. I mean, a week ago Wednesday. And they played that song for her, and it's called Jelly Bean Queen. And I wanted to make her feel like a little Disney princess. Well,
Oh.
about Friday or Saturday, she died. They had to let her go. And so they were going to have the funeral. I think they had the funeral yesterday. And the day before it, they contacted me and wanted a better version of the download so they could play it at her funeral. So right
Oh.
then, then I wrote another little song for her, and they played it at her funeral, and it's called Little Angel. And they played both of those songs at her funeral. And I mean, I cried during writing all of it.
Yeah.
And they all, I mean, some of my friends, when I've sent it to them, I'll send it to you, off the thing and let you hear it. But
Okay.
it made a lot of people just, I mean, it wipes you out. But I went, AI is a tool. It doesn't have a soul, but you do. And you can use it to enhance your soul or to enhance the words of your soul. And it's been pretty miraculous. Well, I mean, I sent you a song just to let you hear it, and
Yeah, and
which
it
is
was
it's
upbeat,
a
but it was
gypsy beat.
sad.
It's very sad, but I put it to a gypsy disco beat, and it's like
Yeah, you're just like
Like
dancing
I
to it, and
tell
they're like,
people, I'm
wait
like,
a minute.
it's hard to dance, hold your beer can, and cry at the same time. There used to be a comedian who would say that, and I go, it is true. But I have been channeling songs like you would not believe. And I have written anywhere from gospel, hip hop, metaphysical, because what it is if you are a channel, whatever you write or you let flow from that, if the words are pure enough, they're going to relate across the board. And there are songs I wrote in the 80s when I was living in an attic in a horrible place. And I wrote a hip hop song back then. And, but I wrote songs. I thought, well, in 10 years, they'll be old fashioned sounding anyway. And then I write 1800 songs anyway, because I'm just that kind of weirdo. And I have put them to dance music, everything you would not believe. It's crazy. So it's been phenomenal. But I'm about to start next month putting them on Spotify and iTunes, and it's
Yeah.
and people who I haven't. I mean, usually you get good songs and some weak ones. So far, it's not been weak, but I think the experience I had, it opened up whatever I needed opened up. So it was destiny. I had to go do it. I had to go do the Thomas House. There were some things I met somebody there that was very important for me to meet, and so it was all meant. You know, there is very little coincidence, I think, in life sometimes, at least in my life, and but it's okay. And when bad things happen, don't let as long as you don't define yourself by that accident or that hardship, you go, all right, how am I going to get around it? And that's what I do. But the table tipping, we'll get back to that. I know I ramble. We started talking that.
It's all right.
But the table tipping, it's a wonderful thing. I love it. But it's not for everybody because they are not used to someone who isn't. I'm an energy technician. But what happened at the night house was not anything bad. The spirits were having a great time. The spirits were not trying to pull anyone out of the room because they were worried about what I was doing. They were partying. They were still partying the next week. So they weren't trying to pull anyone off. He just went over and wanted to say, hey, this is my name because you asked. So that's what that was. But you know, but one thing that I want to do is I'm going to start doing my own things because I'm like, no one understands what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is start doing my own things so that people who come to them, they can be a part of it, but they're going to have to watch and see what it is or be a part of it. But I'm going to direct it because I have to start showing people don't understand what I'm doing. So I'm going to show you how it works. And it's a lot of it is physics. And then the spiritual stuff is spiritual stuff. But that comes from I've been dead a couple times in my life. I can teach people how to increase their psychic abilities, but I can't say, well, I can't guarantee somebody hitting you in your head is going to give you the same result.
Right.
But if the result is if that's what it took to get me here, that's what it took to get me here. So I know next year I'm doing a thing at Waverly, and the majority of people going will be women. There will be some men, but men are kind of scared of me and scared of what I do. Women don't seem to be scared. And you're
We're just
invited, you know
weirdos.
that.
I'm going.
Well, the psychic thing is women relate to it better than men do because they're just not afraid of it. But I think that comes from the spiritualist aspect, that women weren't scared of it. It was a woman's game. They actually didn't want guys coming in as psychics and stuff. They were like, no, 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 this is our first time to make money on our own, have our own. kind of job. No, 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 no.
Mm.
And it was, and there were a few guys, but mostly women. And women are not afraid. So I think I deal better with women in it. There will be some men
Mm.
invited. But anyone who comes, anyone extra that comes, that it's not going to be a free for all. It's not going to be, 500 people show up. It's going to be, I want to keep it, I
Right.
have to know who's coming, and they have to understand you can come and look and record and do. But when it's time for me to do what I'm doing, then it's happening.
Yeah.
And if you're going to clutch your pearls over there. But watch, if you want to see something real happen, I'm going to show you something that you ain't ever seen before. And we're going to do the old school stuff. We're going to raise the roof. And we're going to talk to the spirits there. We're not going to leave anything there. We're not going to take anything with us. We're going to talk with what's there. And I'm trying to, I don't ever want to know stuff when I go. But I asked the spirits when I said, well, if I do a big event, where would y'all like me to go? And they picked that one.
Oh wow.
And so I went, okay,
Mm.
I've heard of it, but I know it's a TB hospital and it has a
Never
chute. That's
been.
all I know. And I think it's going to be amazing. But you can
I
come
am
and you can
super
live stream it.
stoked.
And
Oh, I've already
yeah,
told you
so it'll
I'm
be fun.
there. I'm there. I'm
Yeah.
there. Just tell me
Oh yeah, I
when
want to make
and
sure you're
I'm
there.
there.
And me and you and Sin, we're gonna word out.
Yeah.
And there's a lady, there are several people I think that are really good energies. And I mean it, but I want it to be like an old spiritualist 1890s. Boom. And then we're gonna levitate a table if we can. If we do it in the spring, that's closer to when the first veil is thin. And that's
Mm.
easier to really, that's when you get boom, 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 boom.
Mm.
So we'll do it. And I just think it's going to be phenomenal.
It is going to be absolutely
And I'm looking
amazing.
very forward to it. It's the first event I've ever put together myself, but we're working on it. So, we'll let everyone know when it happens. But it's going to be, I'm going to try and keep it down to 20 people less. I'm going to, lesser is better sometimes,
Mm.
but we'll see. It just depends upon if the spirits say that person needs to come. And we'll see. But it's going to be with people having to understand. I'm going to do it old school, but I want everyone there bringing all their tools. I'm going to put GPS trackers. There was a guy named Tabe who one time we were doing an experiment. He didn't tell me he was doing it, but he put a GPS tracker under my chair. And the GPS tracker, when I was doing the channeling, was shooting all over the place. So I'm
Oh
going to have one
wow.
stuck. We're going to put one under the table where we're going to track that. We're going to do anything old school. We'll do anything new school. And it can be live stream. It can be whatever thing. It can be recorded as long, but it's going to be, but when it gets intense, uh, you know, I think everybody will be that's being participants. They'll know that it's coming. So I'm going to tell people if they're too scared, they can go investigate other parts of the thing while I'm doing what I'm doing. But we're going to do it,
Yeah.
and we're going to raise the roof, honey.
We're also going to be doing it at Goblin Con too, right?
Well, we are, and we're going to have to. We'll see what's going to happen with that. We haven't figured out everything on that, but we'll discuss that behind the scenes. But yes, we are
Okay.
going to do one regardless, whether it's at Night House or whether it's in a hotel room or whether it's in my car, wherever it's going to be. We're going to do it, and
Oh,
uh, and it can be live streamed, and it'll be interesting, and it'll be the first time Stan's
sweet.
been in one, and
Been the first time I've been in one. I've never done one. I've never even heard of
yeah.
table tipping until I saw it, and it was like,
Well, and
what are
it's
they
like it's
doing?
so old, but people quit doing it now. It's a lost art, but a lot of people are picking up some of the old stuff now. So
Good.
it's time to bring it back. It's time to bring back I love automatic writing. I do. I do. I do. Tyler Henry does a little bit, does that, does
Mm-hmm.
the scribbling while he's talking,
Right.
and I'll do that. And it's very interesting, and I love to do it. But a lot of people don't. When I was doing it several years ago, 10 years ago, people were like, "I don't understand that."
Mm.
Or while I'm talking, they don't understand, they're going, well, it's just you talking. But now with the things are, when there's people who know what's going on, they can go, okay, yeah. Like when we do with the cold case thing, you can
Right.
tell me when I'm hitting it and when I ain't,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's not just me talking. It's usually there's something coming out of it. So
Right.
it's that kind of thing. So we have to, people will have, there will be people there who will just be checking what we're talking about because I ain't going to look at none of the Waverly stuff before I go. You can bet that because people have
Mm.
tested me on that. They tried
Mm.
to trick, one person tried to trick me and set little tricks on his Facebook, seeing if I would go look at his Facebook and didn't, I'm like, no, I don't look at it. I don't research it. When we do stuff, I don't do it. Now that because sometimes we put them in a manila envelope. I have you and send
Yep.
to a manila envelope, and
Yep.
I have no clue what y'all are gonna talk about or pick.
Mm. Nope.
So,
Nothing at
but that's
all.
who I am and that's how I do it. I want to go in cold and I want to come out hot. How about that?
Mark, oh my God, it's going to be fun. And speaking of cold cases, tomorrow night is going to be the show with Sin, Trader Hill, and Mark E Fults. The one that was supposed to be on Sunday, we're going to do tomorrow night. So, guys, y'all need to come in at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, for those of you that want to watch the cold case that we got coming up tomorrow. And then Sunday night, I'm going to have Kevin Eads on the show. He's from Erie, America. But Mark, I do want to know one thing. For those that are listening and that are curious but cautious, what would you say to encourage them to explore table tipping with an open mind?
To well, to go towards table tipping with an open mind.
Yeah.
Always look at things, and it's like if it's meant for you, it's going to talk to you. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
feel it in your stomach. You're going to feel it in your solar plexus. And see, the things I do, it's become my life. It's what I'm best at is art, music, channeling, psychic stuff. I'm just, whatever happened to my brain when it's been sloshed around enough, it balances it. So in a different direction. So make sure it's something you really are interested in. Look up all sorts of examples. See what you feel. You can look at something and say, that's real. That's not. You'll know. And if you're interested in it, actually, very soon, hopefully, I've got to finish my book, but I'm going to have a book out called The Psychic Worm Stitch that has all of the meditations and to protect yourself. Oh, and if you don't know me, don't know what that is, find you a protective meditation before you do anything. And always do your protection, do a little bit of meditation before you go somewhere, do your thing, turn on your lights, draw a circle around you, keep it lit up. When you're finished, do a prayer, turn it down. Don't turn it off. Just go 1, 2, 3 and dim it down and turn it off. But always, you don't go into a nuclear plant without protection.
Oh,
Stick your hands
right.
in something and then pull it out and go, well, why did my hand melt off? You know, because I've had people absolutely go, well, Mark said I needed protection, but I don't need protection. And yes, they did. And yes, they did. But
Mm.
not for me to, but it's for, you don't go into something that you cannot see
Mm.
and stick your hands in it and not expect unprotected and don't expect to have a problem. And you can have a lot of problems because now there are ghost hunters that I know that are from a whole different little thing that are pulling up goo that's really bad goo, taking it and dropping it in places, and then acting like they're investigating demons. Well, then they leave it off, and then people get infected with that crap. or what, it's not always the demonic stuff, but it's bad stuff.
Oh
And you
gosh.
can do that. I mean, if you understand how to grab it, you can. There's plenty of places to pull it up from, but uh, you just can't. You have to go if you go in on a ghost hunt. It's not. It's been pretty dangerous sometimes to go into ghost hunting,
Mm,
and you have to treat it like you're a professional. Go in
always.
protected. Always come out. Don't come out and go, well, why did I get something? Why have I got a dead boyfriend now? It's like, well, because I've had a lot of that. People going, I one girl, I said, where'd you get the boyfriend? She said, we were doing a Ouija board. We got scared and threw it in the closet, and they didn't close it. And all I had to do was close the thing. But that guy was following around and eating her energy, and she was fried. And I said, close the board. And I closed it. And so it's all tools treated as such. Your
Mm,
body is a tool. Treat it as such. Do not do something stupid. Now, one thing that I have
story of my
experienced and
life.
people mad at me over is do not do liquor. I don't care if you're going to a ghost house or a ghost place or a ghost investigation, you do not do liquor before or during. You can do it after. But when you do it before, even the day before, you're lowering yourself in a place that has activity that you do
Mm,
not know what you're looking at. You don't do that. That is something that I am extremely hard on because you lower your protections and you can get infected. You can, it can drive
yeah.
people crazy. I've seen people die from this crap.
Mm,
So that they get eaten up with,
mm,
and so you have to be if you're going to go scuba diving, put on a diving suit, go for it. But that's what I would say. If you're going to do table tipping, investigate it. Don't do it before. Wait until you're really looking into it. Seancing, I love to channel in the seance, but a lot of people do it without protection in that, without protecting the people in it, and then they just invite things in, and that's not what you do. You have to create a shallow that is a place where you can put the spirit to talk to it separate from your body, and
right.
they may come like this, but you're where you can push it off, and a lot of people don't do that. They just pull it in, they take the door off and say, come on in, and then they have a multiple personality and they wonder where that came from.
Right.
So it's not play. You can communicate, you can see, you can do it, you can enjoy it, it can be entertainment, but it's a serious thing. So treat it with respect and ethic. Be very ethical because some of these are spirits that
Right.
you don't want to go up and hurt a spirit or upset a spirit or
No.
do something or piss one off. I've seen people do that and it didn't turn out well.
Mm,
And and going to haunted places is very, like I said, you have to always protect yourself. We went and looked at a house. I've got a video online on YouTube of a house we went to, and you can hear the spirit, saying cussing and everything while we're in there on the property. We just found out the other day it's a property because my cousin's ex son-in-law, he's in this area. He's known it all of his life, and he said, "Oh, that property, I know that property." He said there was a man who killed his girlfriend in there, cut her in chunks, and buried her in the back. And that
what?
video, that story. If you go to my YouTube, I only have those on my thing of when we went to the house, and you can hear the spirit going, "Leave," you know, demonic crap.
Oh.
I went in the house later the next day after I heard those videos, and I snuck in the house, and there was a casket in the house, and
Oh my
other people have been using
gosh.
it because they keep selling that house because nobody can live in it. The it sells. It's a $200,000 house. So the time before this last one, it sold for $9,000. The person lost it. Because once you get it, it's beautiful on the outside, but when you get it, you get in there, that
Oh.
stuff scares the hell out of you.
Oh
And
my God.
so it would be a dangerous thing because it's not a happy spirit. But if you go on
Right.
Mark Fults on YouTube, I have my ghost tours on there, but I've taken off of my other videos because I'm getting ready for my other stuff. So, but I have those little house videos, and
Mm-hmm.
you go look at those, and you hear the demon's voice. But it's that guy. He is the demon, and
Oh.
but he killed his girlfriend in there, and people keep buying it. This guy just bought it, and I thought it will be on the market again soon. Because when we filmed
Oh
it,
my
we were
God.
looking at it, we didn't hear it. And then I sent it to the guy who was my friend who was thinking about it, and he goes, "What's all that growling? I don't think I want to. I'm not interested in it." And we went
Oh.
growling, and you can hear it. It's very loud. And my cousin has a huge TV, and we put it on. She's like, "I ain't going back there." You
Oh my
know, it
God.
was funny. It was
Wow.
so
It was
funny.
funny. It was
It's so
funny. Oh
funny.
my
Because I
God.
was like, oh my God. I said, I'd chase that mother off real quick, if I wanted that house. I said, haunted houses are cheap because people are scared of them. So,
Yep.
but there it, oh, she found it. There it is.
I
Listen to it.
found it. I don't know if you can hear it, but I know that. Oh. Leave.
I can't hear it on this end. But
Oh.
that house, we did that before we found out what happened. I found out
You know
yesterday.
what? Hang on.
This
Maybe
happened
mute
a
it.
couple of months ago. And the the man had killed his girlfriend, chopped her up, and put her under some of the bushes, some of the flowers in the back.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
Right.
it's echoing.
Better when we're together.
Oh my God. So you know what's amazing about that is that you hear. Oh,
Where did the
sorry.
music come from?
My
What
husband just
happened?
came into the chat. That's his walk on.
Okay, oh, okay.
But
But yeah, if you listen to the whole thing when it gets near the cauldron, any of the films we've done, some of them I couldn't use because it had the address in it. But
Mhm.
anytime it's near the cauldron, the sound you go out and the sound comes on of that demon. So you hear it saying, "Oh shit,"
Yeah.
because it buried her in the back, apparently, around the house.
Hmm.
So it didn't want us around it. But the big video, if you watch it all the way to the end, you can hear it. It says, "Please leave, go home," kind of thing, because it wanted me
Oh
gone
my
because it knew I would be a
gosh.
bad thing. So
Oh
that,
my gosh.
but that is haunted by the guy who killed his girlfriend,
Wow.
and it's a
Oh my
bad juju
god.
place, bad juju. But it's a
Mm-mm.
$200,000 place. But whoever gets it, they don't keep it. Nobody wants to sleep in it. Nobody wants to live in it because when I went in there, of course, there was a little black casket in the back. Somebody been
Mm,
pulled in there and been doing juju in it because of that evil energy.
mm,
But when you were in the house, when you go to the center of the house, it's like going into a shadow in broad daylight. The center of the house is so black. And even though you're going in, it's just like you're going through a black fog. And I went, oh, this is special. you know, and the opening bid was $5,000 on this house. And somebody bought it outright for something. My friend was like, when he heard that boy, that growling thing, he's like, "Oh, I'm out. Nope, 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 nope."
We're not doing this today.
Yeah, my cousin was like,
Not
"Oh,
today.
Mark, no, don't do it." And I was like, because I was going to rent it. You know, if he bought it, I was going
Yeah.
to rent it. And I was like, "Y'all are scared of this?" You know, I was like, "I can take care of this, mother." Or rent it out for hauntings. I said we could have ghost huntings
Yeah.
here, and that and we'd make a killing because it's not it's
Mm.
in your face.
Oh
So
my
that kind of thing.
gosh.
But that my point is, you can go to an innocent. We didn't go there for ghost hunting. We went to look at a property for buying. But if you went to that as a ghost hunt and didn't go in protected, there is no telling what you would get bit by,
Yeah.
sludged by, drag home. But it really, I think it wants people there that it can feed on.
Hmm.
And when it realized who I was, my energy is not, I'm not food.
Hmm.
Uh, and I have and spirits who really don't like me, but it's because I've had to do a lot of cleansings, and I will cleanse it, not spiritually, I will cleanse it energy wise. So it doesn't matter if it relates to a spirit or Catholicism or Christianity or Judaism, it doesn't matter. I treat it as energy and you push it out. But that would be a place you just would never be able to close your eyes. I
Oh
think it would
man.
be on you like water on rice.
Hmm.
But
Oh
my
my
cousin was freaked
god.
out. I
I
said, "Hi."
bet.
But
Oh my
we're
gosh.
going to research. I have the address and everything, so I gave it to Sin. She can research. I'll give you the address, and you can research
Okay.
it if you want.
Yeah.
Behind the
All
scenes, because
behind
it's
the
owned by
scenes because I
somebody
can't
now.
tell you guys.
Yeah, because it's owned by somebody right now, but not for long. I can tell you, because they think, "Oh,
Oh.
I can flip this," and I thought, not with the devil as your main
Mm-mm.
landlord, because it's a weird and it's a beautiful, beautiful yard. I mean, there's beautiful plants and stuff. When
Looks
it was,
beautiful.
still kind of wintry, and but there's all these beautiful little plants that are blooming, and there's a great outdoor shed, and it looks like a biker on it. I think it probably was like a biker situation, but there's a big room that
Mm.
has a big just pool table and a big
Wow.
um hot tub and stuff, but everyone who gets drawn to it gets the hell scared out of them. And they say, and Tracy, the guy, the ex son-in-law who knew the story, because she didn't have to tell him where it was. He said, "I know where it is,"
Oh.
and he explained it to her, and he said, we know about that one." He said,
Wow.
"Nobody lives." He said, "If I had bought it for the property," he said, "I would burn that house to the ground." And
Oh
I
my
said, "That may not take
gosh.
care of the problem." He said, "I would burn it
Right?
to the ground before it, because you would have to build in the back or something and pray that it didn't move over to your house."
Yeah, definitely. I'm sorry. Somebody's calling me. Give me just a second.
Oh, well, we've gone over. So
We have.
we need to finish it up.
It's for my husband, so give me just a second.
All right.
Oh, okay. Yep, we need to finish up. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, yes.
No,
All
no,
right. So
no.
tell everybody where they can find you if they want to ask you some questions or anything like that.
You can contact me. Just message me directly on Facebook at Mark E Fults, Fults. If you put in my middle name, Elliott, but Mark E Fults. Right now, I'm kind of slowing down on friend requests because I keep getting strange friend requests that are not
Yes.
really people, I think.
Mm-mm.
So, I mean, women with big careers, going, "Hey, sailor." I'm like, so wrong tree. But you can message me directly and tell me what you want to know or what it's about or where you heard me or see me, and then I'll respond to you. I'm not too scary to talk to. And as when I get a chance, I'll talk to you. So that's how you can contact me. I would say my
Awesome.
email address, but I've gotten so
Ah,
my
spam.
emails are like a tsunami, and I forget that I'm not I can't even look at my emails right now. So just contact me on Facebook.
Awesome, Mark. Well, thank you so much for coming on to explain table tipping tonight. I so
Yeah, it's
appreciate
fun.
you. It was fun, and I cannot wait to meet you in August. We only have like 2 months.
Yeah,
And
July and August, 1 more month
yep.
between, and I'll be getting my car. I should be getting a
Oh,
car hopefully in the
yay!
next week or so.
Yay! Oh, that's great. Especially after
Yeah,
your experience, scared the shit out of us. But
it
that's
scares the
another
shit out
story.
of me
I
too.
bet. Those that are watching, tune in tomorrow night to see Mark again while we do our cold case, and Mark's guides get to guide him towards who they believe it might be. So until then, stay free, stay safe, always do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and until next time, see you guys later. Bye, y'all.
Switch it on and come along. Haunted houses all night long. Gaming streams and ghostly scenes. Just chatting with the in-betweens. IRL, she's on the case. Finding spirits in each place. Every game she plays with flair. G.E.E.K.S, paranormal, she's there. Ghosts and games all night. G.E.E.K.S, paranormal's bright. Just chatting feels so right. Trying to stream, it's quite a sight. From the haunted house she flies, gaining worlds under the skies. Chat and laugh, let's have a blast. G.E.E.K.S paranormal here at last. Ghosts and games all night. G.E.E.K.S paranormal's bright. Just chatting feels so right. Try to stream, it's quite a sight. From the haunted house she flies, gaining worlds under the skies. Chat and laugh, let's have a blast. G.E.E.K.S paranormal here at last.